Hello everyone, welcome. Today we're going to go through a game played in the year 1933, Princeton, USA, between two absolute geniuses, Albert Einstein
Oh my God, it's Albert Einstein!
and Robert Oppenheimer. Now, there's been various debate about if this game is real or if it's analysis, but I'm going to go with the assumption that it is indeed real. For the time, this is actually quite a high quality game, and especially white, Albert Einstein, plays a really nice game here. So let's begin. Einstein played the move e4, Oppenheimer played e5, and after knight to f3, knight c6, there was bishop b5 and a6, and we're already into a Ruy Lopez. Einstein played bishop to f4 because his bishop was attacked. Black played b5 and white retreated the bishop to b3. Fairly standard so far, and now black decided to attack white's e-pawn with knight to f6, and the mainline theory here is that white can simply ignore this with castling. Now the most common move here is black developing their bishop either to e7 or to c5 or even their bishop to b7. However, in this game black decided to go in for knight takes e4, taking away white's central pawn straight away, but this does cause white to gain some counterplay. Rook to e1 was now played by Einstein. Hits the knight on e4 and forces black to defend. If you move that knight away, it's suicide because then comes knight takes e5. So d5 was played, protects the knight on e4, and Einstein now played a4, hitting out at the b5 pawn. Probably not the best move though. I think d3 in this position was probably better. d3, we hit the knight. Once the knight moves, then you can play knight takes e5, knight takes e5, and instead of capturing straight away, there's actually a really nice move here, just bishop to f4, puts pressure on the knight, and if you move like bishop to d6 here, then you can play d4, and you'll win the knight back with some more than enough compensation. White's probably actually doing better here. Instead though, Albert Einstein played a4, so undermining black's b5 pawn. Probably not the best move though, because this could have actually really been punished with bishop c5. Black could have played this move, and it's quite devastating because you're hitting out at the f2 pawn. If you play a takes b5, for instance, in this position, black could have played knight takes f2. There's still a discovered attack against the king. The knight also hits the queen. Once the queen moves, knight to d3 with check from the bishop, and once the king moves, this knight takes a1, and black's just destroying white's position here. So bishop c5 was a very good move to be played. White could have maybe played d4, which is technically the best move, but even so, black could have played knight takes d4, and after a trade, bishop e3, and now bishop takes b2, rook a2, and then you can trade off the knights, and black has more than enough here with an excellent position. However, Oppenheimer didn't play bishop c5, played the other move, b4, weakening move maybe, b4, pushing his pawn one step closer, but now black's centre is collapsing a bit. Einstein played d3, hits the knight on e4, the knight goes to c5. This looks like a nice move because it hits the bishop on b3, but now all of a sudden knight takes e5. You're threatening to take the knight on c6, and there's also a discovered check coming against black's king. Black played the best move though, stopping both threats at the same time with knight to e7, but still now black's probably not doing very well. This bishop is locked in, white's got the open file, and it's all looking very good for white's position. Einstein now threatens mate, queen to f3, threatening mate on f7, and black played f6 to stop the mate threat, hits the knight on e5. This seems quite logical until white's next move. Queen h5, check. Einstein is playing like a genius, hits the king. The knight is also pinned. You can't play knight g6 here because then comes moves like knight takes g6 with check. So in the game, Oppenheimer played the move g6. Does hit the queen. However, I've put loads of arrows in this position. The rook on e1 is very strong, and also the pawn on h7 is pinned. So White's move is really powerful. Plays knight takes g6. Hits the rook, the knight's pinned, the pawn's pinned. Black's position looks atrocious. If rook g8 in this position, moving the rook away, white has moves like knight takes e7 with check from the queen. If rook g6, then knight takes g6. So after this move, black opted to take the knight on g6. Oppenheimer played h takes g. Einstein took the rook on h8. Black played knight takes bishop and white recaptured. And queen d6 was played by black. Not a very good move at all. I wonder what you would play in this position to solidify your advantage as white. So white's the exchange up in this position. However, there's a very nice move which Einstein saw. Played bishop h6, hits the bishop twice, and there's no way to protect this bishop because the knight, annoyingly, is still pinned. This has been a thorn in black's side all game. So the king went to d7, unpinning itself, but now white wins another piece. Bishop takes f8. Black developed with bishop to b7. Also hits the bishop here, unleashes the rook against the queen, but Einstein was too strong. Played queen to g7, 3 pieces, hit the knight on e7, forces black to play the only move to defend it, which is rook to e8, and white's in a good position. They just simply play knight to d2, developing another piece. Black played the best move, which was c5, but white's probably got too many pieces. And this is actually a really genius combination that you'll see now from white. Einstein played rook a to d1, getting his rook into the centre, eyeing up the king and the queen. Black doesn't have a lot to do, the knight is still pinned, nothing can really move, so he plays a5. And Einstein goes in for the kill, knight to c4, hits the queen. And there's not really much black can do. So the queen is pivotal to defending this knight on e7. So if the queen moves, the knight will be taken. For this reason, I think black just decided to take the knight off. There was pawn takes knight. But now, after pawn takes knight, the rook on d1 pins the queen against the king. And this is pretty much game over. Black did continue with queen takes rook. Einstein played rook takes queen with check. The king went to c8. And after bishop takes e7, black, Robert Oppenheimer, decided to call it a day and he resigned the game from here. So this was two geniuses playing quite a good chess game, especially from Albert Einstein's perspective. He absolutely destroyed Oppenheimer here with the white pieces. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the analysis of this quick game. If you did, please do drop a like, comment or subscribe. I'll post more videos soon to help you improve your chess. Thanks very much.